Ready?
Yep.
All right, we'll call the September 8th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting to order. Stand for pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of August 11th, 2025 minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second, call for vote, all in favor? Aye. All right, peer permit, class 6532 Channel Road.
Can you hear me?
Oh, let me turn on the mic. There you go.
I hear you.
That works pretty good. What can I do for you?
You applied for a peer permit, so tell us about it and tell the commissioners what you're looking to do.
Okay. Want to come off the shore, cut over to the left and onto the other side of the pontoon boat, basically. Would only one approach to the land. The actual approach to the land is one pier. I want an L over around the pontoon boat and have the little L out on the end with the bench shed.
If commissioners, any questions?
I see the pier that was to the right has been removed.
Yes. You guys asked me to remove that, so I did.
Based on that, I would move to approve.
Did everybody see the email from?
Yes.
Okay.
It was sent out to everybody.
Okay, then I need a permit because my neighbor is crying about it desperately. So I need to somehow prove to him that I'm not doing it wrong so that I can carry out my project here without having to turn it into something that I don't want it to turn into. So I need a written approval permit saying that I can do this.
All right, there's a motion made, looking for a second for then discussion. Second. Got a motion, got a second, let's do discussion now. Did the board see the email that was sent out by the thing? The only concern that I'm seeing is, I don't know exactly where it's on the property line, but you have a boat there. Just gotta watch that property line so you don't cross it, I believe.
Oh, no, I'm actually right in the middle of my 105 feet of frontage,
Okay.
which also is another problem. When I told them I had a 105 feet of frontage, they raised my taxes from a 75-foot lot to 105. Well, that's not the case. The lot is 75 feet wide, but the frontage going on an angle, giving you 105 feet of frontage and on a 75-foot wide lot. So the taxes were right. It's just, I do have 105 feet of frontage.
That you have
So
to copy the assessor.
I need it, I know you guys changed it somehow. I need that back.
Well, that would be the assessor. You'd have to call Kathy.
Yeah.
Romano can deal with her on the assessment. We don't move the assessment. We're just
Okay.
addressing the peer area.
And then I also bought the lot on the other side of the circle, on the inside, not on the lake. And I was curious as to how big of a maintenance shed can I build without having to create a tax issue you know, is there a limit on size as to a maintenance shed strictly for like the lawnmowers and that?
Of that, you'd have to go to the building inspector, which is Lee Ravel. And he's here Mondays and Wednesdays.
Tim?
Lee Ravel is our
Or
building.
Lee, yeah, Lee, okay,
You'd have to go to him, because I'm not gonna know that off the top of my head,
sure.
so.
Is this a permit something I gotta wait for, cause I wasn't really planning on putting this in November.
Well, again, that would be Lee. We're just here to address your peer right now.
I mean, for the peer permit.
Well, that we're addressing tonight. There's been a motion made in a second. We're
Okay,
discussing it right now.
sure.
So, commissioners, do you have anything else to discuss on this?
I think he has the appropriate setbacks.
Yeah, I see this, yeah. Okay, the motion is second, I'll call for a vote, all in favor? Aye, it passes, your peer permit passes.
And then, do I have the right to know who complained about my second pier?
I don't have that information, and I don't know, so,
Because, I've also noticed right in the same area, there's multiple people with two piers, and I'm sure some of them are grandfather, and I'm sure some of them ain't. But why was I chosen out of the row of people doing everything wrong to be the one that have to do all of this pier removal when I'm disabled and I just had shoulder surgery?
no, I can't answer, because I don't know who did it. But if there's something wrong down your road, you're welcome to report the building inspector or call the office, and they'll be looked into just like everybody else.
So do you guys actually go around and determine who's doing it right or wrong, or does it only, the rules are applied only if someone complains?
Well, if I drive around and see something wrong, yeah, I'm gonna act on it, but I don't make a habit of driving all over 33.5 miles.
Sure, I understand. I just noticed there's an awful lot of them that ain't right,
Well, then I would
curious
document down
as
the
to
report. Yeah.
why they chose me to have.
I don't know, this just came to our attention, it came down the agenda, that's why we're addressing it. But
Yeah,
it passed now.
I think the important thing is that you're here and you're doing it right.
sure,
We appreciate that.
well, I think you guys also.
Right, and please don't forget, after you get the pier in, take two pictures, one from your right property line, one from your left property line, and bring them into the dump.
Okay.
There's some-
Can you give me like a phone number of who I call to get the taxes back to the way they should?
It's on our website, or after we're done, I'll give you a card and have it on my business card.
Yeah, cause that ain't right now.
That's fine, but that's something we can't address here.
Sure.
All right, well, thank you. We're gonna move on. Correspondence, public comments. There is none. Forthcoming events, there are none. You're all set. You can have a seat.
Thank you.
All right, I guess we're looking for a motion to adjourn now. So, got a motion second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
We're recording.
All right. We're gonna call this meeting to order. I'm gonna stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, looking to approval of the town board minutes dated August 11th, 2025, and special minutes dated July 29th, August 12th, August 21st, and August 26th, and August 27th as printed.
I'll move to approve those minutes as printed.
Got a motion to approve, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Motion second, any discussion? Okay, call for a vote, all in favor? Aye. Okay, approval of the claims as presented treasury report. Okay, general tax checking, 27,499.95. General operating money market, 693,610.39. Reserve funds, 1,080,788.37. Loan balance, $786,301.47. Future revaluation reserve, $250,000. Any questions on the claims? For the payables for the month? Looking for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve claims as presented.
Got a motion? Looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Motion second. Any discussion? Now we'll call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, correspondence. We do not have any. We'll move on to department committee reports. Greg Horace, Dean County report.
It is.
Sorry about that one. Mr. Chairman, thank you, members of the board. Relatively slow month of August, so I'll just share one item specifically, and then there's two others I'd like to add to it just quickly. We continue our program with Microsoft, obviously the partnership of them moving into Racine County. And one thing that was done on September the 4th was that one of the county initiatives with Microsoft was that Microsoft was going to be supplying 125 laptops to pre-selected students within Racine County. They all have to be Racine County residents, as a part of their attempts to try to do more for our community. And this is only step one, as the overall result that they're going to be giving is roughly 750 laptops. We continue trying to make sure that Microsoft isn't just their own corporation, but they continue to support our county. And so I'm thrilled to say that that has continued to move forward, and everything that they have said they were going to do at this point, they have done. And certainly it's nice to have one of the top 3 corporations in the world as a member of our backyard. So we're thrilled to have it. Am I too close? I could probably just talk without it, to be honest, okay? Anyway, having said that, I just wanted to share that with the board and with the town. The second thing I wanted to mention is I wanted to extend my personal thanks, but that on behalf of the town and the part of the village I represent, for the efforts of the WWMD, Waterford Waterway Management District, for their efforts along with the town and the village when it came to the challenges we had with the water levels that obviously increased as a result of the severe rain we had. Not only did they jump in and immediately help support, meaning they being the town, the village, and the district, but certainly the members involved were active in trying to make sure that we were able to take care of our waterway. And I know a lot of work was done. I know water got tested. I know that debris got removed. And those are the types of things that we want to bring attention to and we want to say thank you for, because otherwise you take things for granted and just assume it's going to get done. But I think it's necessary because, let's face it, it represents Racine County. And so we're thrilled to know that that was done, and want to thank the entire, both the village, the board, and then of course, the WWMD. And the last thing I wanted to do was welcome, I had just had a chance to meet him outside, our new police chief, Tim O'Neill. Had a good opportunity to speak with him, sent him a note the other day. Thrilled to know that that process, Mr. Chairman, is moving forward as we had discussed and as you had all planned and prepared for. So with that having been said, I'm happy to answer any questions, but certainly wanted to acknowledge his joining of our backyard, if you will. By the way, it was a pleasure to meet his wife and his son as well. So any questions that I can offer?
Hey, Greg, I do have a question going back to the Microsoft topic.
Please.
And sounds like investments that they're making in our community, in our county. I think the laptop example is a great one. Are there other things that you're aware of that are on the runway for what Microsoft plans to do or could do, or that we would want them to do?
Supervisor, yes, okay, I can't be too specific because a lot of this is still being developed right now, but I can tell you that there is a lot of conversations regarding scholarships that are going to be offered to students, especially when you talk about the technical college and what have you. In addition to that, I also know that they've been very active in looking for ways in which they can help become a partner in some of the events that we've had and have within the county. I had actually started some conversation with them about the Balloon Fest, about being involved potentially as a sponsor. So those are the kinds of things that they are interested in also participating in. If I can't tell you right now a specific item, but I can tell you that those are the conversations that we continue to have with them.
Okay, that's great. As a suggestion, there are a number of corporations that have banded together in the southeastern Wisconsin area under something called the Milwaukee Tech Hub, which is a coalition that I would assume is plugged into what is happening with Microsoft here in Racine County and what we're doing. If not, they can also be a very strong voice of influence to help maybe help materialize some of the things we like to see Microsoft do with respect to talent development and other investments that we want them to make?
Yeah, excellent comment, and I will take that as something specific to look into, because I was not aware of the Midwest Tech Hub that you're referring to. So that's something that I can spend a little more time doing some research on. I will say one final thing on all this is that, selfishly, one of the things I have had in my conversations with representatives from Microsoft is I would like to see more happening out in our part of Racine County. You know, there's always that discussion about the division of I-94 east and west of the highway. But there's definitely an opportunity, I'm sure, that we can get them to participate more in what we're doing out here. And maybe not quite as much of an intensity or an effort going towards the east of the highway. So that's something that's also, I'm clearly aware of and certainly trying to do my best to represent our backyard.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you all for the
Thank
opportunity.
you. All right, moving on to the police department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Some of the numbers for August, we had 13 burglar alarms, 13 assisting the sheriff's department, 23 voting violations, 19 civil troubles, 15 extra detentions, 19 reckless drivers, 50 rescue runs, 11 special events that we helped assist, 30 traffic violations for a total of 504 calls. Also, I'm excited to say that we rehired Officer Lenny Meyer back to Waterford Police Department. Lenny brings a lot of experience. He has helped with getting us grants for our community and our department in the past. He is also one of the officers that helped coordinate our reserve program, getting our reserves training that they're required to have. With that said, we also hired a new reserve officer. We hired Gary Hay as a reserve officer to specifically help with our boat patrol. He comes with a lot of experience on the waterways. He is a riparian owner in our community, and he's helped out quite a bit already, volunteering his hours, so we're really happy to have him. As far as the training for the reserve officers, we do have that planned for later this month. It's gonna be a 4-hour block that covers a little bit of, I think it's some evac, it's like driving for squad cars. We have training for pepper spray, handcuffing, some hand techniques that is the basic training for our reserve officers. So that's planned for probably third week in September. Any questions?
Any questions for?
I once again will ask, under what or whose authority was the part-time officer hired?
That was a rehire, and that authority was under our police committee and the chair.
Okay, without regard for the ordinance, understood.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
No police committee report. Moving on to Tishman Fire Company. Could not make it, so I have the report here. In August, they responded to a total of 30 calls, including 22 EMS, 6 fire-related incidents. They handled 2 personal injury accident calls and attended 3 mutual aid box alarm systems. Since their last meeting, they installed 6 smoke detectors. Participated in the Tishman Car Show on August 24th. Taught CPR to the Washington Caldwell school staff on August 27th. And looking ahead, they'll be attending Gateway Career Expo on October 2nd. Fundraiser picture day is scheduled for October 11th. On October 24th from 8 to 1, they will be hosting their Halloween blood drive. And lastly, please remember that October 5th through the 11th is Fire Safety Week. Best regards, Mark Krieger. All right, now moving on to Waterford Waterway Management District.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The weed harvesters were pulled off the waterway at the end of August. Equipment is in for maintenance and winterization. As many of you know, we had a pretty major flooding event in our area. Kudos to our dam operator. As a riparian myself, I think that person did a great job in ensuring our waterway saw minimal flooding as a negative result to our properties. The WWMD took action in the following manner. On August 12th, Waukesha Sewage Plant released 10,000 gallons of raw sewage into the Fox River. We immediately consulted our biologist about the side effects and the situation at hand with that sewage being, entering our waterway. And as a result, we had the water tested by the state health department lab. We tested both the main sandbar, the back sandbar, and Waterford Lakes Beach. All tests showed negative for E. coli bacteria. We also contracted with Midwest Marine to remove debris from our waterway. Currently, we're sitting at 4 large barge loads of large debris, some entire trees and stumps. And we plan to wrap up that effort tomorrow. We're estimating a total of 5 barge loads when they're finished. Our annual meeting is Saturday morning, September 27th at 9 a.m. And certainly the public is welcome. That is at the Lions Club. And then lastly, Gary Hay has been appointed to fill an open role position to our board. He is head of special projects and also the police liaison. Currently, Gary is working on a lighting project for buoys and plans to have that wrapped up this fall. Does anybody have any questions?
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. We're on the Park and Road Department.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Few things to start out with is the ATV signs. I know it's been going on for a long time, but they are located in the right of ways in their proper spots, along with one engine brake sign, waiting for approval from the DOT. So we can get those located. Once those are okay, we'll have to press call an hotline for each one and have for the person on the committee regarding the ATV. He's gonna pay for the posts, hardware, and the signs.
Who is that?
Bob Vail.
Well, there's no really a committee set up.
Said he was gonna pay for the posts and signs.
Well, I would recommend you put something in writing, so
Yeah.
he knows that, because what cost are you looking at for this?
I already told him that he needs to order it. The posts. And signs. The sign would be made by the correctional facility. Inmates would make the signs. Like they do with all the other companies. That's where we're at with that. On to Gunner Park Road. Finally, we got some pavement down. Real happy to see that. Yeah, they had to get the pavement down first instead of the sidewalk and curb because school started and it's a mess. But now that things have calmed down, now things are moving forward. There's a weekly meeting every Wednesday moving forward. There was one last week with all the contractors, engineers on that project. There's another one this Wednesday at 1:30. Now it's coming together. It's just gonna take a little more time, but it's coming together. When exactly? Somewhere in the vicinity of middle of October, they'll hopefully finalize that project. That's all I have for Gunner Park.
As somebody mentioned to me that there's still debris left over there that have been picked up by the contractors. Can you look into that?
Like debris, like what debris?
Broken sign, stuff like that. So I can talk to you after the meeting. Jeremy.
Okay, yep, we can look into that. Okay, next is, I know we've been talking about this truck for quite a while. We actually have enough money to put away. We've been putting it away for 7 years now. I have all the information right here. Have copies for everybody. Working on this diligently for the last week. It spells it out on the first page. The opportunity presented itself pretty fast as of last week. There was one truck available headed to the equipment. They have all the equipment put on, but it's too far into the build for what we need. So we actually lost that truck. So we do have another one. This is the last one. It's a speculation truck. It's going to Berg Trucking Equipment. That's the company that sets up our plow equipment. It's going there anyways. Truck is actually here. They volunteered to drop it off for you guys to take a look at. I know you can't make a decision tonight, but all the numbers are in front of you. And the truck we would get rid of is a 1996. An old one.
Okay, since we just got the information,
So basically, as you can read there, it's not gonna affect my budget at all. It's actually less, the last year was less than what I actually budget for equipment.
So can you, I'm not seeing that jump out at me based on what you shared. Can you
Okay,
say a little more about that?
the money we have in the bank right now, you see that 152,493.25?
Jim?
The money for this year hasn't been put in yet. So once that's put in, that brings it to 177. Sale of equipment that we sold this past year, the old lawnmower, the tri-fold deck, the paint sprayer, that is the 23,650. And then our budgeted number for next year is 25. Brings up a new total. And then budget year 27. And then what we potentially can get for the old truck, I think it's a little low. We might be able to get a little bit more, but it's a conservative number of 12 grand. And then last but not least, 2028, that'll be 23,431.25. Actually, with the truck here, it won't be built until somewhere in the window of November of 27 to January of 28. That's how long it takes to get the stuff put on. This truck that we have here beats the tariff increase of 3 grand and the upgrade and the percentage increase of 5 grand. That's a total savings of 8. We have until the 30th to pull the trigger on that truck. Otherwise, it's gone. This one? The one that we have, the one that's out there. It's a speculation truck. They do several a year. Because once it goes to the town association on the 30th, it's gone. Somebody will pick it up. And to reinvent the wheel and get that truck again, it'll be a long time. To put the equipment on takes 14 to 16 months.
So talk a little bit about, I see the total that you are showing here of the 286,574. Help me understand the cash flow out in terms of what is due when, based on the timeline you're envisioning with this.
Okay, it's in, let's see, it's the last page. Very last page. That would be the outlay for the equipment end of it. You save 1.5% by making 2 payments just on the equipment.
So are you saying that that 148,976 would not be due until 2027 or whenever you said the truck is finished?
Well, if we would buy the chassis in the next couple of weeks, that would have to be paid for up front, which we already have in the bank,
On the 152.
if you follow those numbers. So basically, we're only getting financing 23,431 for less than a half a year. And that's under my allotted budget of 25. Numbers just have to work out that way.
You're looking at the bottom of the last page here, it says total payment price 149,900. That would be for the chassis, correct?
The truck, are you talking about the first page?
No,
The last page.
Bottom of the last page.
That's the equipment. Equipment
Okay,
cost
so-
more than the truck.
Okay, so the second line then is the first half payment. And then it mentioned the second half payment. When would those be made? 27 and 28?
First one would be beginning of 26. And then the second one would be when it's complete. And somewhere in the vicinity of November 27, January 28.
Okay, thank you.
I know we can't vote on it tonight, but we need to make a decision on that.
And I just wanna, you know this, but I wanna, speak on behalf of the town operations committee, where you have been involved in the conversations that that committee has been having.
Yep.
About things that we would prioritize. The potential purchase of this new truck was one of the things on that committee's
Yep.
list. And I know, Adam is here and he's a member of the committee. He's been working to try to get the data to support the argument. And I think you're pulling some of that data together here. I think the operations committee needs to have the opportunity to weigh in as part of this conversation, before any decision is made.
I missed the last Public Works Committee meeting, but can we schedule one? And have another special meeting so we can move this forward? 'Cause we only got about 2.5 weeks.
Our next meeting is
Yeah, the next meeting is scheduled
for the 18th.
September 18th, so.
September 8th.
18th, next week, Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that committee does need to have the opportunity to weigh in and ask questions based on the numbers you pulled together here too.
And even so, we still have plenty of time to meet the 2027 ambitions. That's another, nobody really knows what that's gonna be yet. Management, nobody knows what that's gonna be, but it's somewhere in the vicinity of 10 to 20,000. Upgrade into new ambitions.
And when does that hit?
That would be September 17th, 26. Anything after that, that's what that costs. Plus the tariff, the surcharge for the next following year. So it could be $28,000 upgrade. We don't make a decision. I don't see why we wouldn't, but all the figures are here.
And you're saying that this is the only truck that's available, and if we decided we weren't gonna make any decision until November, December, or January, there's no trucks of this type at this price that would be available?
No, not this one. This was a pre-tariff, been ordered a long time ago for a spec truck. They set up several a year, but this truck's actually going to the same place that we're setting it up, because they partnered together on this truck. Once it goes to the town association, it's being sold. The one that we just missed last week is already going to the town association. It's not set up like us, it doesn't have what we need. It's just a generic truck. But so we missed out, but if it was 2 months ago, but it didn't work out that way. But this one just fell into place. They actually had this one.
So is there anything that we're adding to this truck based on the stuff that Burke is gonna do that you've got?
The truck's ready to go.
What's that?
The truck is ready to go. We don't have to add anything to the truck. The truck is actually built, it's out front.
Okay, I mean, whatever is happening to the truck after it goes to wherever it's going.
Yeah, the bird truck you put in.
Okay, so is there anything that is being added as part of that we don't have on the trucks today? Anything new that we're adding that we haven't used or had in the past?
So the only thing we gotta do is cancel out the trailer brake, which we don't have trailer air brakes. It's a standard that they put in. It's easier to put it in the factory and just disconnect it. That's it. The only thing we have to add on would be licensing and lights.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else, Ted?
Schedule a meeting.
They mentioned the date of the meeting
You
already.
know, there's a Public Works Committee meeting, can't make a decision.
Well, this is, the operations committee would be the entity that would actually make the recommendation to the board for the purchase. So,
You'd
They can have that meeting, I'm not gonna call a special meeting, they're gonna have a meeting.
Okay.
And once you have that meeting,
Understand.
then I can.
2.5 weeks. So I spent a lot of time on this in the last few days to get this where it's at, so. So I have.
Okay. All right, moving on to operations committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the rest of the supervisors for allowing me to report on our activities since we last met. We've had 2 meetings since our last town board meeting. We focused on refining our opportunities and improvement list, gathering supporting data and benefits, trying to meet every 2 weeks to help drive this in a timely manner. Once a month, I don't feel we can get things done like we should. We have a list of 15 operational improvement items that we initially identified. I provided that list to the board. Supervisor Eulander was the only one to respond and give some good feedback. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. On our September 3rd meeting, we took some time to build out that list and try and assign some priority rankings to those items. Our top 5 items from easy to difficult, a new copier for the clerk's office, town Facebook page / bulletin board are some items we're working on. Ken's new truck, we're hoping to be able to bring that forward to you. DPW leadership succession planning and IT infrastructure and security risk review. The top 5 items that we prioritized from most urgent to less urgent. DPW leadership succession planning, Ken's new truck, town bulletin board Facebook page, IT infrastructure, security and risk review, and new copier for the clerk's office. I know Tom has started working on an RFP for the IT review. That's kind of a meaty item that I'm hoping to bring forward. Criteria for prioritizing the list are process efficiency and improvement, communications improvement, cost savings, and risk reduction. Our goal as a committee is to hopefully bring these recommendations again to our next board meeting for your review and input if needed. I want to thank Tina and her staff, Ken, Supervisor Gerke for his time, Supervisor Makowski for his guidance and leadership, Adam Kelly for his hard work so far. And if you have any questions, respectfully submitted.
Any questions for Chris?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to orders committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. The committee met again on August 28th and discussed the committee's recommendation for an internet policy for elected and appointed personnel. We came to an agreement on what we thought was a very doable policy, not an ordinance, a policy. And that policy, with the input of Tony and the rest of the committee, great discussion, and we came up with what we think is a solid policy. That policy was forwarded just the other night to the chairperson for review by the board. At our next meeting, we plan on working on the draft, and possibly we hope to have something to the board at your next meeting as it pertains to employees policy. We also established that we will hold our monthly meetings, a monthly meeting, the last Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. Lastly, and I know this is a touchy subject, but I'm going to bring it up. The committee encouraged allowing public comment at our meeting on agenda items, using the current rules as produced by the town. The town had established rules, okay? Speakers will be provided the rules before speaking. And a request to make comments sheet must be filled out prior to the start of the meeting with the chairperson or designated member. I'd like to thank all the committee members for their willingness to serve our town. Any questions?
Dave, I have a question. Prior to today's report, when we've talked about this policy that the committee is working on, it had, based on my recollection, previously been referred to as a social media policy. You are now referring to it as an internet policy.
I believe it says, the policy itself does say social media.
Okay,
And internet.
so.
I may be wrong, I don't have a copy with me. But I know it was drafted with the help of council and committee, and everybody was pretty comfortable with it, including Tony.
I haven't seen it yet, so
Haven't seen
I'm just, the reason I'm asking is because the name did change. And I'm trying to understand whether there was a scope change associated with the policy that the committee is working on.
No, I wouldn't say a scope change whatsoever. The name changed based on recommendations of the board and of Tony. It changed from ordinance to policy. It changed from elected officials and appointed personnel. That was all included in there. That is the only major change that as far as our work went, is to include them, that extra group.
All right, I'll wait to see it whenever we get it, and we'll go from there.
All right, thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you. All right, town planning commission recommendations. There wasn't one, it's the pier permit.
There was a pure permit that was approved.
Yep, that's it. We got no business, none. New business, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution authorizing the town of Waterford Police Committee to meet with the village of Waterford Exploring Police Committee to discuss future policing needs. Everybody had a copy of that in their things, and any questions? And it was reviewed by council. We don't have public comment, sorry,
Said any questions?
for the board.
Tim, I have a question, you know, assuming that this resolution is adopted and we move forward to do this, are we envisioning a frequency and or a timeline associated with this work with the village?
I'm guessing a meeting once a month that has to be laid out yet. But, the village board has reached out for a meeting on September 15th to start the process and discuss a little bit to move forward.
Okay.
Anything's gotta come to our board here for final approval, but to get the process started, I think we should meet with them.
Okay. I'll hold any other questions until we adopt this and we go forward.
So I can ask a question?
No, you can't,
No.
sorry. All right. Looking for a motion for this resolution?
I'll move to adopt this resolution.
Got a motion to adopt, looking for a second?
I'll second that motion.
A second, discussion? Tom, you have more questions?
My other question was really gonna be, as this committee starts to work, the exploratory committee, is our new chief, involved in that? What's his role?
He's gonna be involved. He's
Okay.
involved, yes.
All right. Okay. Thank you. That was my question.
All right, got a motion, got a second, call for a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody vote?
I'm making note, yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, chair report. Okay, obviously everybody knows we hired a new police chief, that went out, details. The other thing, the board all received a letter from our assessor about full revaluation that will have to be discussed in a future meeting. And then obviously this Wednesday, September tenth, there's a Racine County Intergovernmental Cooperation Council meeting that I will be attending in Raymond. That'll be forthcoming. And that's all I have. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Move to adjourn. A motion to adjourn,
Second?
a second, all in favor?
Aye.